Hi everyone, I thought on this module we'd do a bit on guerrilla marketing. I'm sure, like me, your parents might have told you that you work hard at school, you get a job, and you got that job and you work hard and get promoted and get more money and stuff, and that's the comfort zone. And guerrilla marketing is about getting out of the comfort zone a little bit to make some cash. And some of these things I've done, and when you do these, you might feel proper naughty, but it kind of makes money, so that's why we're doing it. So, what we're going to do first, well, van written signs are fabulous, and I'm sure you've seen them signed up on the sides of streets and stuff, but there's a couple of techniques, a couple of tricks to watch out for, because there's an upside and a trade-off for everything we do. Have you ever seen a magnetic sign on a car door? And if you answered yes to that, have you ever driven along a motorway on the outside lane overtaking something and then looked at this magnetic sign that you've just seen and tried to copy the number down? I presume not, because it's really hard, because the signs are really small, and of course we don't want to distract from our driving and take a number down, so I don't do it either. So these magnetic signs on cars that move around, they don't really work, or don't work well. What does work well is signs on vans and cars that stay still. If they stay still, and I've got actual evidence of that. I bought an old BMW estate car about 5-6 years ago now, and we signed it up. We signed it up on the side windows and the back window. Huge, great phone number on the back, and that drove. In fact, I've still got the car. It's now done 212,000 miles. Well, for 130,000 miles of those, of that car's life, it had a huge number on the back windscreen. When it drove about all over the place, hence the high mileage. Have a guess how many phone calls I got from that particular car? 0, absolutely none. And the reason was it moves about. Now, if you're going to sign up a car or a van, it's got to stay still, because we're after pedestrian advertising. This is pedestrian advertising, not vehicles, so it stays still. There's two ways to do this, or two that work well. One is parked up cars, and they're signed up, they stay still on the sides of roads. Of course, they've got to be legal, they've got to be taxed and insured and completely legal. And we've done this a few times. You might have heard of a Vauxhall Mariva. It's a little square car, and on the criteria is from an auction, we get them any car that's got a flat back windscreen, because that gives us the best advertising space we can do. And the Marivas are incredibly cheap Vauxhalls. Get them from an auction, sign them up, park them up, and the cars are under £500, completely legal. They go down to our Steve, our garage guy. He does whatever he does with cars, I'm not sure, but it's completely legal when it comes out, and then we sign the car up for about £20. So it's out there, stood still, parked up, but legal. Another one is, if you want to go a little bit bigger, is vans. Vans are fabulous. Now, you don't have to buy the vans, although you could do. Again, go to an auction, don't buy a tidy one, buy a scruffy one, or if you haven't got that type of capital, because our vans are costing about £1,000 a piece. They're not new, they're not pretty, but they're going to get signed anyway. Another alternative is doing JVs. What's a JV? Well, as you might have heard from our leafleting campaign, we go around the patch and we're delivering leaflets. Now, leafleters have what I call a knock sheet, or a knock list. And on the knock list, I want to know every household that's got a white van parked outside it that's not sign written, so a blank white van. The reason for that is we can approach the owner of the van and we can buy a panel. Now, the panels, generally speaking, are about this sort of size on vans. It's where the windows go on the variants of minibuses and stuff, so they're about that sort of size. I can buy a panel off a van for about £100. And when I offer the £100, I'm buying the panel. It's not for a time period, it's not a rental. I'm actually buying that panel to put my sign on. We've got a supplier that supplies us signs, and we can sign write a panel about this sort of size for 3 of them. So we do one on the side, one on the other side, and then 2 on the back, and we can do that for about £20 in vinyl low-tack lettering, which comes off with a boiling water kettle stuff. So we can sign up a van. Now imagine we're knocking doors of all the white vans in the area. And some will say no, of course they will. Some will say maybe, or maybe charge too much, or they'll maybe ask for their insurance paid. And we used to do that, but insurance over the years has crept up, and it's now £300 or £400 for insurance on a van, so we don't offer insurance. But to buy a panel, you can have a fleet of vans in your area running around, advertising for you, parking up, doing jobs outside potential leads, houses, for a few £100. Brilliant campaign, brilliant type of campaign. And I've got a competitor in Northampton, Freddie, who's a good friend, and what Freddie does, he's actually parked, he's got a panel van, it's a big red one, an old one, and he's put an actual big board on the side of the panel van, and this particular van sits at junction 14 on the M1 virtually every day. And it's a huge, great yellow sign on a red van, black letters on, saying we'll pay £7,000 more for your house, call this number. It's a fabulous, fabulous advertising medium to do, and it doesn't cost the earth. So vans are brilliant. Another chap, one of my guys, Derek Pape up in Hartlepool, he runs a deal packaging business up there, and he's got a transit van. It's a white transit van that's totally signed up on all three sides. He takes that from his house and parks it in B&Q car park on a Saturday. It's one of the busiest car parks in Teesside. Parks it there, 8 hours, gets a few calls, gets some leads, goes out and does deals. So the vans work when they stay still. So the vans work well. So don't try and sign up your own car. It sounds like that works, but it kind of doesn't, and doesn't bring in results. But the parked up stuff, the parked up vehicles do. Once we've got, let's imagine we're running this small patch, just about 4,000, 5,000 houses, small patch now, and we've got our leaflet that's going around once a week, so we're doing some regular advertising, regular marketing. And then we've got a few vans that are in and out, working in and out of the patch and parking them outside Leeds, potential customers' houses. Then we can add another layer of marketing on there. There's a little bit guerrilla, but it doesn't cost a lot. And that's postcarding. Postcarding is it's an old-fashioned term where in the old days businesses used to have pin boards in their shops, and nearly all small businesses had them, and you could pin a postcard advertising whatever you had for sale, or whatever products you had, and you could put a card on the pin boards. Now, pin boards are quite rare now. The only people who really have them, or only businesses that really have them, are betting shops, post offices and chip shops. They kind of still have them, but most other businesses don't have them anymore. So postcarding is nowadays putting a sign in the window, and some have these the vinyl kind of booklet things that you can just slide a card in. I don't do that. What I do is my guys carry a bunch of postcards, and we ask if we can stick a card in the window. We don't mention price. We just say, can we stick a card in the window? As soon as we get agreement to put a card in the window, if we were using blue tack, that would come off within a day. If we sellotape a card in the window, that would come off within a week, and it all goes brown and horrible quite quickly because of the sunlight and the UV. What we do, though, is the cards go back in the pockets. We're not going to use them, and out of the other pocket comes our they're called reverse tack stickers. And reverse tack stickers are absolutely beautiful for sticking on outward-facing windows. So the glue is on the face of the sticker, and it goes outwards and sticks on the window on the glass. Now, they're sometimes called window stickers. You can get, they're not expensive at all. There's loads of shops, online stores on eBay that will supply them, and our stickers are out there. Now, we're trying to get out there in a patch between 60 and 90 stickers in businesses across the patch. They're all working for you 24 hours a day, as long as you've got pedestrian traffic past it, working 24 hours, and it's cheap as chips. We've got a store on eBay, not my store, but suppliers on eBay that will supply these. They'll design them for you. Remember to follow the AIDA model, so AIDA, exactly the same as your leaflets or your other messages, and on Windows. And on this slide, there's some of my guys on the ground that have got them up already, and they're bringing leads in. In fact, one chap in Basingstoke, he got 60 window stickers out there in his patch in Basingstoke. We know the area quite well, so we've got property there as well. And he's now got a portfolio worth £780,000 from window stickers. It's completely bonkers, but that's what he's done. So if you're starting at ground level and thinking, well, I can't market for leads because it's too expensive to market, start with the stuff that's a bit guerrilla. It's outside your comfort zone, certainly, but it does work. It's a slow burn. It's not immediate, but it does work, and you